And this episode is brought to you by McDonald's. At least I would like it to be. Ronald, holler at your boy.
I stay consistent with my need for Liquid Death sponsorship.
Most people manifest in life like a house, a family, a successful career in whatever they do. I just want my own McDonald's meal, like, Travis Scott did, like, was it Cardi B? I don't know. They'll like add someone every few months. I would like one.
Just want unlimited Liquid Death and all the fun stuff that they give with it. You've seen the weird products that they do, like the Tom Segura trash can, the Travis Barker enema.
You maybe you'll see this in an upcoming episode. He literally bought a Liquid Death fridge.
I did, and it was a good deal, by the way. Those things go for like $500 plus, and I was able to score one on Marketplace for $220.
Insane.
Brand new. Yeah, so that right there is the score of the century, not counting my absolute purge.
Was that the day of the Rumble?
That was, it was right. It was like the day of or the day after.
You were like, how do I squeeze in sitting down for 4.5 hours to watch this and also make it all the way down to wherever like Downey, Orange County town it was. Yeah.
Yeah. To get it, but made it happen. Got that bad boy back, and it has been chilling these Liquid Deaths ever since.
Priorities.
So, yeah, I mean, you know what? A deal's a deal.
Yeah, for sure.
Like yesterday I logged on to, I woke up and I saw, because the figure community over here saw that Walmart just had a giant purge of a bunch of stuff for like 50% off. So you wake up and you think you're getting a deal, and then you're $194 down. So it happens.
What? Wait, on just Bam Bam? Or
No.
I was gonna say,
actually, believe it or not, this right here was a free review product that I got, which has never happened with a WWE thing. So that's actually kind of cool. But everything else I pay for it. No, Walmart had like a bunch of stuff for 50% off. So I got me Roman Reigns and the Wild Samoans. I got me Sheamus, and I got some weird ones too. I got a Mae Young. I got Cody Rhodes, but dashing Cody Rhodes with the broken nose and the paper bag. So I got some weird ones in there, but Ultimate Flair and Rey Mysterio got Sheamus, got some good stuff going.
I'm just imagining that my misheard was correct, that it was $194 on Bam Bam Bigelow. That was like yesterday when yesterday I got me some AEW Revolution tickets. Well, I mean both of us are going, but you like read that like, yeah, I spent $3,400 on AEW Revolution or $6,400.
Because he's getting a new camera. So I'm on a new camera right now. We're testing this out. As we've talked in every episode, we're trying to get the production up and everything. So little by little, it's happening. But I got my camera first, and so this is what's happening. And he's going with a Sony 6400.
Yeah, so $6,400 later. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Which led to me being delirious because I'm still sick and dealing with what I'm pretty sure is like walking bronchitis. So, and it's been that way for weeks, and apparently it's going to stay that way. It feels like Nia Jax is just squeezing my head together. So
that shit's gotta hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that,
you got a deal though on the AEW tickets.
I did. Yeah. If anyone in LA is looking to get some AEW Revolution tickets for cheap, literally just go to the not resale website and they got some deals for you. So
it was 6,400 minus 2 zeros.
Yeah, exactly. So. Yeah. No, literally that's what it was. It was $6,400. They'll take the final 2 zeros off, and you can sit pretty much in like the center of the arena, if not a little bit lower.
$64, not bad. WWE, I'm just saying they should take a little note right there. It's
probably a little closer to 6,400.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, if they followed AEW with the prices, that'd be kind of nice right now.
AEW, look, I never, since it started, and then since all of the turmoil, all of the things, all the ups and the downs with them, I've never been an AEW hater, and obviously, we're going. I still love the product, but I can't help but feel a little bad, and just overall a little bit of sadness for some of the people in that area and community. Between like a big portion of their roster are just so eager to jump ship. Ricky Stark showed up in NXT yesterday, which was probably a huge loss for them. And all the people that have shown up in the last year or so. It just seems like little by little, it's feeling a little bit more like WCW in 2000 with them.
Yeah. I think there's definitely like hot and cold streaks, and I think we are both under when we talked about doing this podcast to begin with and wrestling being one of the big cornerstones of it, we were just like, all right, we don't want to be like some of the other people that just go on and they just bash whatever company it is. There's the AEW marks that, hate the casualty or the casualness of WWE. There's the WWE people that hate AEW and think that it is like, just a, sign every former WWE guy. But yeah, I think we both want it to be good. It's clear right now that WWE is just on a massive hot streak, and that's kind of hard to, keep up with. But AEW, I love AEW too. And look, I mean, we'll get into it probably in another episode, but AEW is responsible for my number one music career highlight so far. And so I have nothing but, hope that AEW is going to hit a hot streak at some point too. So $64 to go see some wrestling, not a bad deal.
Yeah, and like, look, AEW in 2019, I don't know what everyone else thinks. I thought WWE was predominantly trash in 2019. I think you can make an argument it was one of the worst years in the entire company. Like, you could say that about, 93, 94. You could say that about 2010, 2011. 2019 is up there.
Yeah.
And I mean, maybe even 2020 as well.
What's crazy too is that AEW like had every reason to almost kind of fall apart during the pandemic, but they didn't. Mm-hmm. They managed to get through, and then you still had massive moments after that. I mean, you had CM Punk, even though that was kind of not the right fit for the company and him, as we clearly saw. It seems like he's way happier in WWE, but you still had these massive moments that took place. And look, there are so many wrestlers that are in AEW. As you said, there's obviously a lot of people that probably want to jump ship and the grass is greener in different areas, but there's other wrestlers that you could clearly tell are like, okay, they're really happy with where they're at. Christian is like just seems so natural in AEW. Daniel Bryan too, like as big as he was in WWE, I think that there's something, he just feels like very natural.
Well, there's a few people on that roster where it's like, Tony is literally like, he is going to savor them and pamper to them as much as possible because he realizes how talented and how sought after they are, and also just how much they would probably flourish on the other side. So when it comes to like your MJFs, your Darby Allins, your Swerve Stricklands, it's. If that were to ever happen where they went over, which I'm sure, look, all three of those guys are on the younger side. I mean, who knows how crazy far that they'll go, and maybe that's an inevitable thing. But for right now, they are very vital to AEW.
Around, like a giant, whatever. But yeah, they just get passed around between the two companies. There is something though. I see so many people all the time talk about how MJF must be like so distraught that he re-signed and that and I get that to a certain point because WWE is obviously on fire. But the thing is, I feel in AEW MJF gets to be the most unfiltered version, and as much as WWE has sort of taken off some of the training wheels for a lot of wrestlers and let them be more themselves and everything under the Triple H regime, I think that MJF and certain other performers are probably still being able to be their entire selves on AEW.
The real question is, whenever, again, because I think it's inevitable, whenever MJF does end up going to WWE, whether that's in 2 or 3 years or like 12, 13 years, what the fuck is he going to do about that AEW tattoo he has on his leg? I don't know. Have you seen that from when he came back at Double or Nothing and had the bet on yourself with the logo on it? What are they going to do? What are they going to do?
I don't know. MJF could be like a Sting situation where he's always just kind of going other places. But the thing is too, is also Bruce Pritchard is really high on MJF. They work together in MLW. So it's probably going to happen at some point, but I'm actually really excited for the fact that, it seems like Miro is done with the company.
So yeah, Miro, Aleister Black.
And it's funny, we're calling it like Aleister Black and not, so and Aleister Black was a total Triple H guy. If you remember in NXT, like that was one of Triple H's big projects. So I really like Aleister Black. I hope that we see him back in WWE. Same thing, Miro. Like,
Yeah, we got to get
awesome.
them Rusev Day days again.
I actually think this. I think for a short time, AEW booked Miro better than he was booked in WWE when he had that sort of God's chosen one thing going. I really like that.
Okay. Yeah.
But once again, it was kind of short lived. But and then Ricky Starks. I read something that he apparently was out of his contract on Sunday.
That's awesome.
That's a big flip. Yeah, like that's a fast turnaround right there.
Yeah.
I also I didn't even realize that he was in WWE before as like a jobber.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. There's like matches of him like jobbing to Kane and stuff like that.
In like, are we talking like mid 2010s?
I think we're talking like, I don't know, maybe the era where Kane was. I could totally be wrong about this, but like the era where the Hell No era and stuff like that.
Okay, yeah.
Somewhere around there, like the first. Like maybe 15, 16, somewhere in there.
That sounds about right. It's funny because like this is another thought that just occurred into my head. So right now we're very early stages of getting ready for Mania because for those that don't know, so more so Jake than me, he's been going to WrestleMania pretty much every single year for the last like 10 years, aside from literally a few.
Yeah, the only ones that I've missed since 31 were here's my streak is this because it got fucked up by the pandemic. But so I missed 36 and 37. Now, yes, I could have gone to 37, but so much stuff ended up happening in that time, travel issues, everything else. I've held tickets though to every WrestleMania since 31. 36 obviously got refunded. That wasn't going to happen. Ironically, that's the one year we had all of our shit together. We had our Airbnbs booked by January. We had all of our flights covered. Everything was ready to go because the year before New York was kind of a cluster. So, of course, that year gets canceled when we have everything planned out. The next year, everyone else that I usually goes with kind of bowed out of going. And I was like, I'm still going to go. And I bought a ticket. And then I was getting this was very late. So I was trying to find an Airbnb. I couldn't find one. Finally, I found like a shared room or something like that. And then I was going to take that. But then I went and looked at flights and they just like got super expensive. And then obviously there was like the weather and all that. So at that point, I just took the loss and I didn't go to that one, which is regrettable because that was the Pirate WrestleMania.
It was a Pirate WrestleMania, but you probably would have got a cold just being in there with it being that Mania just got flooded on.
It would have been worth it. So like the fact, because I am outside of wrestling and music, Pirates is something I'm obsessed with. So that would have been really cool. And I missed both of them.
Aesthetically, that is a very cool Mania where it is the pirate theme, or the pirate aesthetic, but also it literally was pouring. It was a storm in Florida.
And I also, not that I'm a hater on any wrestler, but I would have loved to have seen Bianca beat Sasha Banks. Because I love Bianca and Sasha Banks, Mercedes Mone has just never been one of my peeps.
That's his light way of saying he absolutely hates Mercedes Mone.
Like here's the thing, she has great matches. Like I'm not gonna lie, she's been in some good matches. Like the one with Bianca was really good. I always think back to was she in a cell match with Charlotte?
Most likely, but the one that always pops over to me is the NXT takeover with Bayley, which I still think. I mean. Yeah, I still think that's probably the best women's match I've ever seen. It's honestly one of the best matches I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, she has great matches. There's just been nothing that's ever, I felt like, compelled me from a character standpoint. I mean, very similar to Charlotte, where Charlotte kind of, like, her promos are very... Actually, Triple H got a lot of criticism for this back in the early 2000s. The Rock even cut that promo. He's like, because I'm the game, and I got a $2 slut for a wife, and I'm gonna beat you. And I just kind of feel like Charlotte's promos are a little bit like that. Like, I'm the best, and I'm the queen, and I'm a 14-time champion, and I'm gonna take it. It's like, all right, but what else?
That's pretty much it. But I brought up that Mania thing and we kind of went on a tangent. I brought that up because I remember last year, so I went to 31. I've been to a few before that in childhood, but I didn't go to another one until 39 when it was here in LA. And then 40, since it was centered around a part of the country that I've always wanted to visit, like that Northeast area. I was like, okay, I'll do it. Philly, and then you got Jersey and New York right there. So ended up doing it. And when both of us were over there, I remember looking around at all the events outside of Mania and just being like, oh, wow, there's literally zero like AEW anything here. Like it's fun. Like Tony Khan really wants to just stay away from the city when it comes to, like, I remember, I think he had Dustin Rhodes on an episode of Collision during Mania, and he tweeted like, yo, check out Collision tonight. And it's like, Tony, no one is watching Collision tonight. We're all watching WrestleMania Night 1. Yeah. But I bring that up because now it's like knowing that there's like no AEW stuff, but as we're gearing up for Mania this year, just looking around at all the stuff, like I was looking at Wrestlecon, which is always a fun thing to do. Like if you're in town for Mania weekend, it's, just nice little convention, in a nice little wrestling convention that isn't WWE branded, but it's a lot of alumni, a lot of people from other companies. But this year there's some out of pocket names there, like awesome names, like really cool names, but names that like, at this point with that brand, I'm very surprised that they ended up getting, like, Mike Tyson's going to be there. I just saw Dennis Rodman is going to be at WrestleCon. Yeah. Dennis Rodman, like, that's so cool because you could bring a plethora of different things from like different niches to get him to sign, like bring
Carmen Electra poster.
Carmen Electra poster. I was gonna start with a basketball, but or Chicago Bulls merch or something. Obviously, any vintage NWO stuff. I was just thinking about this at my old apartment with my roommates. We had our living room was like meme central. It was very dude frat bro, even though none of us were frat bros like that. We had a tapestry with Kim Jong-un on it saying "Live, Laugh, Love." You could probably bring that to Dennis Rodman. They're homies and shit.
The North Korea,
yeah. I probably won't end up sending it with that just because I think he's only there on a certain day that is a little inconvenient to the plan right now, or to my plan right now. But it's really cool. It's cool that he's there. It's cool that Mike Tyson, even though there was a lot you could say about Mike Tyson, but the fact that he's just at WrestleCon is pretty crazy. And then, all of the Ruthless Aggression people and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
APA, Lita, Matt Cardona. That'll be $40 each one. Or Matt Cardona will definitely be like $40, I'm pretty sure. The Dudley Boys.
It's probably like a 120 photo op right there.
Ric Flair.
Probably like $100.
Sergeant Slaughter. Hardy Boys. Saraya being $100 for a photo.
That's kind of crazy.
It's crazy, but there's a bunch of
there's
a bunch of 40, 50-year-old dudes that are big.
There's 40, 50-year-old like World of Warcraft South Park episode looking people that are definitely they prematurely bought those, and then there's probably like the 25-year-old like Warped Tour kids, I guess, that also are really into her brand and stuff that my troll and wear some falling in reverse stuff. So
I don't know that I feel I have a photo with the Hardy Boys together. Obviously it'd be cool to get those solos at some point, but I was thinking earlier is like, because I have that photo already, it would be cool to get the like photos with all the Triangle TLC tag teams. So getting a photo with the Dudleys would be cool. And then at some point, just figuring out, like, I don't know when they would do it, but I assume that it's possible somewhere, sometime to get an Edge and Christian.
Yeah. Just all it takes is just 1 year at WrestleCon where they're both signing. And to be honest, I don't know how much it would be. Sorry, but like imagine if they did like the Triangle Tag Team, like all 6 of them in a photo op. So fucking sick. That'd be like $600, but
and like they have like tables, ladders, and chairs in the background. High spots.
Get on it right now. I'll pay off some of my credit card debt just to put myself back in, just for that dumbass photo of that.
Yeah, it's like a $400 photo op. There was one year I was there where they had the NWO there. And I believe it was is the NWO or is the Click? I think it was like 2017. It was either one where it was Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Hulk Hogan, but then there was also one where I think they were doing like Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Shawn Michaels, because Shawn Michaels was there one year. That's the thing, is every now and then High Spots will get some WWE like legends or whatever. Austin was there in New Orleans.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, which of course his prices were insane. Probably I met Austin for free, so that was nice.
Did you really?
Yeah, I met Austin technically not free. I didn't pay for a meet and greet for him though. He was back in the day when he was doing his podcast. Obviously, he's really good friends with DDP. He actually was roommates with DDP at one point, and I'm not talking when they were young, like they were in their 40s or whatever. But yeah, apparently they were roommates. But they were roommates. Yeah. But this is when they did the documentary of Jake the Snake Roberts, the resurrection of Jake the Snake Roberts, where they talk about his recovery. Same thing with Scott Hall, and they were screening it in somewhere near like Venice or Santa Monica, wherever an ArcLight is over there, or something like that.
Probably Santa Monica. Yeah.
But yeah, so they were doing a special screening where Jake the Snake Roberts was going to do a Q&A at the end. And last minute, they announced Stone Cold as the moderator for it, which was so random. So I got a ticket for that. And when I showed up, it was so crazy because I get out of my Uber and then who do I see riding up on a bike but RVD? like just on a bicycle.
That's absolutely what I pictured.
Yeah. So he rolls up and then the Uber behind me, out comes Jake the Snake. So he's there and everyone's just arriving at the same time. We go in and everything, and there's just like wrestlers hanging out there. Victoria was there. I met her. Nice. Took one of the worst photos I've ever taken. I look so bad in it, so I've never reposted it. But she was so nice. You know what's crazy too? She accidentally sat in someone's seat, like some fan seat or whatever. And I think she was only one row off. And I remember him making like a real big deal that she like accidentally sat in his seat. And I was just like, bro, chill, that's Victoria.
It's
like,
fucking Victoria, yeah. Bro. Let her have your seat.
Yeah, it's like chill out. But yeah, Austin came and did the moderation where he just asked a bunch of questions and all that stuff. I think it's because at the time he lived in Marina Del Rey or whatever, so he's like real close. And afterwards, I saw him. He didn't go out the back way. He went out the lobby, and as you imagine, it was just like just a wave of people trying to get to Austin. And I was just like, this is my time. You know, Austin's my goat. So I just found my way through there, and then I came at him from the back.
He came at him from the back.
From the back. But when I got there or whatever, I was like, oh, can I please just get a quick photo or whatever? I very rarely, you and I have talked about this, about, sort of no selling when we're around celebrities, because we've worked in Hollywood in different venues or capacities where you're around famous people. But I had to mark out. He let me take the selfie and everything, which is really cool. So I got the selfie, and then I was so stoked I was just gonna jump out of it because it was super chaos. But as I was leaving, I saw that he had reached his hand back, to shake my hand, and I was like, oh. I was like, I will absolutely shake your hand. So I shook his hand, and I've never washed it since.
Yeah. It's been what, 8 years? Starting to build a little callus and crust on there.
Yeah, right. This was in like fall 2015, so we're coming up.
On that 10-year anniversary since Jake washed his hand.
Yeah, and I don't plan on doing it anytime soon. So, yeah, long story long. Back to Wrestlecon. This is where you can go and you can pay for people when you don't have the dumb luck of,
or just be an absolute weirdo and stalk every hotel. Yeah, I remember.
Well, it's easy now because they all stay at the same. Well, okay, like WWE is just all at one hotel.
They're all in one hotel. But in terms of Vegas this year, probably every major hotel on the Strip is going to have some sort of talent. Like, I'm sure you'll have WWE, you'll have the High Spots people, et cetera, et cetera. Like, all of the different niches of your Chris Van Vliet's, your I guess your NXT guys will stand the same as WWE. I remember last year in Philly, I walked to the wrong hotel thinking this was where WrestleCon was, and it was actually the hotel where all of the WWE guys were staying. And those fans don't give a fuck. Like, it could be anyone. They will, like, this was I saw Trick Williams last year, and
were you with me when we saw Ty Dillinger?
No.
Okay. Oh, that was definitely this year. Like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, like right around the time that he returned.
Oh, nice.
You must have just just went to some activity that you were doing that I wasn't, or whatever. Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe it was
possibly
one of the
ROH or something.
Yeah, it was in the morning though, so it was like I don't know if it was like a Wrestlecon thing or something.
Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember I saw Trick Williams and dude just got swarmed, and I felt really bad. And also, like, Trick Williams for the WWE crowd is medium-sized person now because he was an NXT main eventer. He's probably going to jump to the main roster in a matter of probably no later than a few weeks from now. But this was last year. I believe he was NXT champion, or he just lost the title. If I remember I don't know. But yeah, they don't give a fuck. They absolutely just 20 people, and he's signing. He's taking photos. Felt bad, man. He should have whooped all of those tricks.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good sign, though. You're on NXT. You're not even on the main roster yet, but I mean, you're already getting swarmed like that.
Oh yeah, that's a guy who the sky is the absolute limit. Yeah. If I had to make a very bold prediction right now, that's like a WrestleMania 48, 49, 50, 51 main eventer, something like that.
Yeah. No, he's definitely got star power. He gives me very like Rock aura.
Absolutely. That's the thing. Because obviously, look, we're both in the above 6 foot ratio, both of us, and Trick I don't believe is, but if you ended up if you gave Trick Williams or someone adjacent that has that aura the Rock physicality build, you would have your next like A-lister for the top of the food chain in the WWE, as well as Hollywood and whatnot else calling you. I said that years ago about Enzo Amore because he was just 11 out of 10 on the mic.
Oh, I'm so glad you brought this up because I follow Enzo or Real One on Instagram, and he had this rant earlier. I'm just gonna play this in the microphone.
We're talking like a Kanye rant.
Well, he does like it's kind of his thing. Like he just posts these rants, and he was talking about, I think he might be facing Zilla or something. But so he was talking about.
Oh, that's someone I want signed to the WWE ASAP, is Zilla.
Yeah. But he just started going off about. I'll just play a quick excerpt, see if you can hear this.
I always say that because I'm not scared of any Samoans. Everybody knows the island of Samoa is for pussies and sailors. Moana 2 sucked. You always say that.
It's just
okay.
Moana 2
Listen. We don't condone what he said, but I will kind of agree with the last thing he said. I think that was at least kind of mid.
Yeah, I was surprised that made as much money as it did. I love the first Moana. The second one kind of felt like, apparently that it was supposed to be a TV show that kind of got mashed together as a movie.
You know what?
And it feels like it.
The thing about Disney with all of their, what's the word I'm looking for? I've taken film class before. I'm going to remember this as soon as we transmedia or something, where it's like you take a story that is, you could turn it into a movie, but it could also be a TV show, but it could also be a book. Like when you're pitching something to Hollywood, or to writers, to a studio, that's the main thing that they want to see, because they want to see multiple different ways that they can make money off of this. It's like
why every Disney movie now has to have like the cute little character that they could turn into plushies.
They can turn into plushes. They can make a spin-off show. They can make a sequel. They can make a prequel. They can make a live action, comic books, all the shit, right? So yeah, I don't even remember where I was going with that, but that's at this point, that's just kind of the point of most Disney movies, and Moana, and yes, Real One, Moana 2 was kind of mid.
They're already working on the Moana like live action.
And The Rock's gonna be Maui as well, right?
Yeah, so good stuff. But excuse the bronchitis kicking in.
That's gonna be his wrestling name when he ends up deciding to actually do it.
On the way to the ring.
Take 2.
Bronchitis.
Are you what do you think about the idea of Jey Uso and Gunther happening again?
I mean, I like it. I feel it's very Kofi Mania. That is probably a match that, and I don't know, like obviously Gunther went over clean and everything, but I think that's a good match under the assumption that Jey wins. I think if Jey doesn't, that sucks so much air out of the room.
I think like, I feel two different ways about it because I already went through this last year where I complained going into WrestleMania 40 that we were getting Seth versus Drew literally when we got that match on Monday Night Raw in January, a Raw that I attended. I was literally there. That was the main event. And the fact that we were getting it as a headlining WrestleMania match, I was really pissed off about. All the way until that match happened, which this is a very hot take because obviously the last 10 minutes of WrestleMania 40 are ones that like, it's a moment that everyone holds in like the highest of God tiers. I think Seth Drew, the aftermath of that, that will go down as, you know, some of my all-time favorite moments that I've just seen live because that match was amazing. So I advise everyone to just kind of try to get over the fact that you just saw this a few weeks ago, because in terms of the Gunther that, you know, is on TV right now, who attacks Jey Uso, who is really, really going after him on the mic, and obviously, you know, he's throwing him around and shit. It's going to be a much more intense feud, and that is also, I personally think this is a very, at least right now, we're still a few weeks before the Chamber. I think this is still a very unpredictable road to WrestleMania, which is something that you really just don't get too often in the last, 9-10 years. It's pretty, you think you know where it's going. And this year, I can't really say that's the case. So it's also not, I still, even though it's technically announced, there's still other possibilities that could end up happening outside of this one-on-one match or stipulation or other things. But
I also love the fact that I love the angle that Gunther is coming at, where it's almost just like, you are a waste of my WrestleMania moment. I don't want to face you because I've already beaten you. So you choosing me is a major inconvenience for my legacy, because I don't think you're good enough. I love that angle that he's taking, and I hope they lean more into that. Also, here's a curious thing. Obviously, all over the dirt sheets right now, they're talking about the two rumored main events of, the triple threat, Seth, Roman, CM Punk, and then a John Cena, Cody. If that is the case, and that were to happen, I could see Jey Uso opening night one.
I agree.
Because how do you get more hype than the Yeet entrance and all that going into night one of Mania? I feel like,
and if Jay gets his first world title, I mean, right now where he's at in the card, and also like the fans, I don't think anyone is in a position to complain about, like, yes, he won the Rumble, but he's not going to main event. I mean, there's been plenty of times where that just hasn't happened, and also like, most of the women's Rumble matches, they have not been the actual main event of WrestleMania as well, which that's probably a whole nother category.
I think you could balance it too. So that was another thing. Triple H has said before, it's not really about the title, but it's just about what's the most compelling story. If for some reason Charlotte goes against, let's say, Rhea or whatever, it doesn't seem like it's the most compelling story right now. It's just it's a rematch, right? Or even Tiffany, but it seems like if that triple threat was a thing, maybe that's the thing that closes the night. I do like the idea, though. Let's say that Charlotte is poised to win. Mm-hmm. Then I like the idea of having that on night one as well. So if Jay wins, you get a nice moment, but then also you play it out realistically where a heel does win the title as well. Sometimes I don't think WrestleMania should just be all champions winning, like baby faces winning all the time. But there is something, the beauty about having a 2-night WrestleMania, I guess what I'm trying to say is that night one, you could send people away like not happy or whatever because a heel won.
And that's kind of what they did last year.
Yeah.
With Rock and Roman winning at the end of night one.
And then night two, though, you could go in and now I think they should flip flop it from 39 where, night one, everyone was stoked. And then night two, everyone left kind of. But that's what I do like about the 2-night thing is you could still have the WrestleMania good, feel good moment where a babyface leaves at the end of the night. But then you can also have one night where, the heel walks away. So, you're still building stories after Mania. But yeah, do you think the triple threat happens? Because Cody and Cena obviously is such a marquee match. And yeah, that would be great to see. I still feel it's so weird to build CM Punk up for so long to have him not main event. And I still think up until this point that there is a major chance for Logan Paul and CM Punk, or Logan Paul and Cena at Mania. Just under the guys like Logan Paul just got into the chamber.
Mm-hmm.
I feel some sort of situation where Logan Paul eliminates Cena, causes him to lose, whatever, and then we sort of get that grudge match, because you don't necessarily have to put Cena in the title match main event at WrestleMania. I know it's his last Mania and everything, and that would be a great pick. That would be a great story. But I could also see WWE just trying to capitalize on the fact that Logan Paul has such a big giant platform.
Mm-hmm.
Him versus Cena, and those two being very famous outside of WWE makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and it's also a thing where if Cena, that is a bigger opportunity for Cena to get his feel-good moment at his final Mania that isn't necessarily I don't know if destructive is the right word, but like he could totally face Cody and win, but that in a way that actually may hurt Cody just moving forward. Regardless of, obviously I would love to see Cena do that and get 17 with him. There's also, there's a lot of other people that are saying Cena could do it later on this year, but
yeah, I would selfishly keep booking if it's Punk and Cody at Mania and Punk were to win, and he carries the belt just
Money in the Bank.
Yeah, just carries the belt for 3 months, and then it's him and Cena at Money in the Bank. They do the flip flop where Cena's the challenger.
Hold it in Boston.
Yeah. Well, did you hear about the
ruthless aggression?
Yeah.
So we'll see where we get. Everyone listening, tell your friends, monetize the fuck out of us, so we can go fly in December to this so far rumored PLE that would be Cena's final his final match.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how that pay-per-view ends or PLE. That's gonna be a tough one.
It will be a very tough one. It will be, dude. Lots and lots of 30-year-old tears, and
that's gonna be tough. But the thing is, as far as Cody and Cena, you could do that anytime this year. And yes, WrestleMania is the biggest grandest stage of them all to make it happen. But there's a lot of story that Cena can tell this year, and maybe it's not that.
Yeah, and I'm not necessarily. Look, I said this a little while back, but I said this a little while back. CM Punk and Cody Rhodes ending that Raw before the Rumble, the promo. I know that WWE these days are just throwing out options into the crowd and seeing like, okay, what do you like? What do you like? But I don't believe that they closed before the Rumble. They closed that Raw before the Rumble with them in the ring just for them to not do anything with them. Yeah. So I think there still is a very good chance that CM Punk wins the Chamber, and that is the night 2 main event, and Cena and Logan. So and with that, you get a one-on-one between Roman and Seth.
I was about to say, I was like, the one weird thing here is how do you separate CM Punk from all of that drama, right? And maybe there's some sort, I don't know, maybe that's where the favor's involved or something like that. But the Seth and Roman thing, which is a 10 years in the making, and they've obviously gone at it plenty of times before, but them having a Mania grudge match is really cool. But yeah, there's got to be some sort of creative way to where you can separate CM Punk from that, because he's obviously had major issues with Seth, and Roman is just kind of in the way, I guess. So
yeah, with CM Punk, I think if they do end up building to him in the title picture at Mania, there's a lot of people saying that no matter what happens, and personally, I'm all about this, even though he is a red hot babyface. There's a lot of people saying that it will end up with 1, him getting the title, but also 2, a heel turn. I'm totally cool with that. I think, people saying that like you can't get me to hate CM Punk, like you don't remember 2009, 2010 CM Punk, like that CM Punk was ruthless. I just popped up on my Instagram the other day of just a promo of CM Punk just belittling the absolute shit out of Jeff Hardy.
Yeah. And anytime
to his face.
Anytime you're going against Jeff Hardy, you're a heel.
Yeah.
Okay? Jeff Hardy is the one uniter of.
Has Jeff
everything.
ever been a heel his whole career? Like, did he ever have a moment?
I think he had it. Yeah, I think he had a heel run in TNA.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh God, what was that thing? He had Jeff Hardy had the best line that I always try to use ever, and I think it was during a heel run.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, fucking people like correct me if I'm wrong, but he had a whole thing where he like went to challenge someone, and he's like, "Be there or be triangular."
Oh God,
or whatever. And it was the best. Oh God, it was the best. And I try to use that all the time.
Yeah, but
be there, be
do
triangular.
not underestimate the opportunity of CM Punk turning heel and just being a red hot heel, being a Dominic Mysterio level, like Kofi Kingston, New Day 2025. You can't get a word in without the people booing the shit out of you. Like, he can absolutely go there. He's just that fucking good. And
there's also something to having just like a cool heel. I mean, MJF is a cool heel. Brock Lesnar was a cool heel at some points where people just like they like the heel.
Yeah, and look, again, massive Cena mark here. It is not the end of the world if he doesn't get that title at Mania. Just a nice marquee match. Whether I don't really hear this anymore. Cena and Braun Breaker I thought would have been a cool thing for a while. Get Cena finally getting his Intercontinental title, but yeah, Cena and Logan is probably another big option that a lot of people are throwing. By the way, Logan Paul's new entrance theme that he had on Raw, dude. I never really took him for like a rock person, so I've always pretty much disliked that whoa theme that he's had. He has this like new hype like hip hop song, and it just feels like he's about to step in the ring with Floyd Mayweather again. Like it's so badass. I don't know if it's Def Rebel or not 100% sure. I don't even know if it's out on like streaming yet, but it's pretty damn good. That's 10 points to Logan Paul right there.
New move.
Yeah, and what did Pat McAfee call it? The
pulverizer. The pulverizer. Like that thing looks sick. That's one of those moves that you come up with your wrestling figures as a kid.
It was like a reverse flying STO or something like that. Like it just goes back. Like it was sick. So that's the other thing. Cena's got to prep for that if they're going at it at Mania.
I just feel like it's just I know it's not the main. It most likely wouldn't be the main event, and it's not for the championship and all that stuff. It'd probably
be like the match before the main event.
But there's a lot of meat on the bone with that Logan Paul Cena thing, and it could definitely happen.
Especially if Cena goes over, you really just need to have it once. Like Cena's he's got limited weeks, limited days. I think he said 36. We've already gotten 2 of them, so 34 more. Minus the chamber 33. So and with of those remaining days, how many times is he going to be in the ring there? Probably like a third. So
another thing about the Logan Paul situation is, as he's already kind of made himself obviously based off of his platform and just how good he is, as much as a lot of people don't want to admit it, he is. But I think that there's more value in CM Punk, or in Cena, keeps doing that, in Cena and Logan Paul having a feud where Logan Paul really fucks Cena out of some opportunities to continue to build Logan Paul as like a very monster heel. Mm-hmm. And because Logan Paul could go really far with that. And
imagine Cena let's go with your scenario. Punk, is the champ. Punk, Cena, Money in the Bank. Cena wins 17. Out comes Mr. Money in the Bank, Logan Paul, and just completely obliterates that moment.
Is there a situation too? Here's the
Becomes
other
world champ.
The complicated thing with Cody and Cena, and I wonder how they do this. Assuming that they don't turn Cody heel, that it feels that's kind of weird. It almost feels like Cody is the new Cena, and
they're teasing it. He's Cody Lander, as a lot of people are calling it.
But turning Cody heel right now is almost sure in storyline that's compelling, but. Do you think that they look at it from the business aspect of like, well, Cody sells so many action figures and so much merchandise and so much this and that. He's our absolute top baby face. Do we really want to turn him heel even for a short period of time? It's like, He is the guy, the babyface guy. So assuming that they didn't do that and you have a babyface Cody versus a babyface Cena, you kind of put Cody into a very unenviable situation of being the less popular babyface.
Well, I think that was a position Cena was in 2012 when he feuded with The Rock, because I remember being a younger high school kid who admittedly that's probably a little bit older than a lot of Cena's demographic at that time. And, and you're going at it with these adults that are like, fuck John Cena. I want my Brahma Bull to beat the shit out of him. And that's kind of, if we ran that now, obviously that crowd is the John Cena fans and, versus the Cody crybabies.
But at what point? So where do you fit in Cody? Let's assume it's babyface versus babyface. Mm-hmm. Where do you fit in a Cody Rhodes versus John Cena match? Because on one hand, WrestleMania, you have Cody going in. It's not a great position, I think, if he is the less popular babyface. But also, let's assume that way down the road, Ruthless Aggression, the PLE happens, the final match, Cody Rhodes versus John Cena.
Yeah,
that's a rough spot to be in too.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about it. Fantasy booking like a long time ago before it started to feel closer than it is. The first person that came to mind on who would be a good final opponent for him was Cody. They could do it in a way where it's like there's not that much of a feud. There's not that much meat on the bones, but it's just the star power between the two kind of carries in itself. They could not even... It doesn't have to be like an intense buildup or anything like that because,
I feel like they let Cena win his last match, especially if they build a PLE around it. I know it's tradition to go out on your back and everything, and Cena is totally the guy that would do it.
Yeah, yeah.
But something seems like, I don't know. It's so far ahead. That's obviously just a shot in the dark.
It depends who it is. If it's Cody, if we're getting the same Cody that we've gotten for the last year, I don't know. That might be a tough one. If it's someone a little bit younger, if it's like a guy that's not at that position yet, like a Braun Breaker or something like that.
Trick
Williams, Joe Hendry. There's something to be said about Cena winning.
It's weird because so many people talk about Cena passing the torch to Cody, but the thing is, it's like Cody already has the torch. It's similar to when, Brock Lesnar beat the streak or whatever, and it's like Brock Lesnar's already an established guy. He was already, main event.
Yeah.
He was already there. So giving the streak to Brock didn't make a lot of sense. And with Cena, I guess that there's somewhat of a symbolic torch, but Cody's already the guy.
Yeah. I mean, another option is to actually do Cena Jey Uso one-on-one, but yeah, I don't know.
This is why WWE is so good right now, is because there's just this constant of like, well, there's so many ways they could go.
It's literally a scenario where Triple H and Bruce Pritchard or whatever, they're just playing chess with themselves. Like, okay, if we do this, we can do this, but if we move here, we could do that. Like, and that's, I mean, like I said, there's probably at most a dozen Cena matches that we have left. So, I mean, who really is left? I would like to think that everyone that he mentioned and name dropped on that Raw promo in LA on Netflix, that he's going to go at it at least once with this year. Logan Paul, he mentioned Gunther, he mentioned Drew McIntyre, he mentioned Cody Rhodes, he mentioned CM Punk. Beyond that, I mean, I don't know who else are some people I think a lot of people want to see Cena and Orton one final time.
It's like there's so many opportunities. There's so many people. You know what they should do? They should have all these guys in some sort of like over-the-top battle royal where they come out one by one every 2 minutes, and whoever wins that goes on and main events WrestleMania.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
If they could think of something like that.
If they can, just one of these days, they should really come up with that. When it comes to Cena, I mean, look, like I mentioned this before, just having, even with some mid-carders, I feel like a lot of that is probably out the table now, or off the table, with Cena not being super involved with some of those people that were in the Rumble match earlier on. Like, we may never get Cena Penta or Cena Carmelo Hayes or something. It was just one of those things where I'm not going to look back on it that bitter, but I'm just like, man, only Cena was in there at like number 8 or something, we could have had this and this. But
are we gonna get Penta and Chelsea Green?
Yeah,
like at Lucha Underground.
Oh, dude, absolute fire.
Let's do it. Apparently, in the new 2K game, their intergender matches are a thing.
So we can get John Cena versus Nikki Bella.
Oh, you could do that.
You could street fight, Hell in a Cell match.
Damn. Yeah, there's Jacob Fatu versus Io Sky. There's so many things you could do.
Man. Rhea Ripley versus Dominic Mysterio. Wait, haven't they done that?
Yeah, I mean that's probably gonna be like the go-to right there.
Yeah.
That's gonna be insane. Also, I see that they also have as one of the backstage areas the WWE archives.
Yeah, you can go on the fist.
Yeah, like that's I don't know. It's getting me tempted.
Is that really for the new game? I thought what was it for the new game?
It's definitely for the new game.
Okay, cool.
I don't know if they've done it in the past, but it's definitely for the new game.
No, like I saw a video or a few videos of that, but I wasn't sure if someone was just like customizing these people and it was back in like the WrestleMania 19 game or something. I don't know. Like
where on getting the 2K games, where is that on your priority list?
It wasn't very high, but I don't know. Might end up doing it. My thing is I'm so ADHD brain that like I got the 2K23 game when it came out. I did the John Cena storyline, and then I probably ran like 7 or 8 exhibition matches, and then I've not played it since. So it's one of those things where if I am not, and it's also just like where I am in life right now. I've like just left and right. There's a lot of things going on. It's not the same where you're 14, you're not doing your homework, and then you could just play SmackDown versus Raw until 4 a.m. and then your mom comes in and starts yelling at you like you have school in 4 hours. It's not the same, you know?
Yeah, but at the same time,
the SmackDown fist.
You can play till 4 a.m. and then your girlfriend comes in and yells at you to go to bed.
Sure, he does that.
Well, yeah. So there you go. I mean, do you guys have a TV, like 2 TVs?
Yeah.
Okay, so at least you could separate it. Anyway.
I'm like, babe, one more round of Fortnite. I gotta school this 8-year-old kid. I'm playing as John Cena. Yeah.
See, I know nothing about Fortnite. Do they have WWE?
Yeah,
skins?
they got Cena. They got some random ones. Bianca is a skin. Those are like the main 2 that I know, funny, but I know there's got to be a bunch more.
It's funny you say like random things. Do you ever notice that there are sponsorship stuff that WWE has, these partnerships and everything, and sometimes you'll see the most random wrestlers show up in things. It'll be like like a cricket commercial or whatever, and it's the Viking Raiders or something like that.
I just realized
whatever.
You could play as Rhea Ripley in one of the newest Call of Duties, which is
that's pretty sick.
Insane.
Yeah,
but that fits pretty well.
Yeah, but there's definitely there is a random WrestleMania game at the Player One or whatever in Burbank.
Are we talking like the old 90s era, or are we talking?
No. It's modern.
Really?
It's not a wrestling game. No, it's just like a coin push thing where like you try, but it's WWE branded, which is one of those things where you're like looking on the side, and I mean this isn't I forgot who exactly is on it, but it's just such a random like group. It's like The Undertaker and Cedric Alexander and fucking
they gotta take him off now.
Andrade or whatever. It's just like the most random, or like maybe it was Apollo, like just the most Bianca Belair. I think is definitely on that one.
When in doubt, she will be on all of the
Cesaro. It's just yeah. Sometimes they'll just take the most random groupings of people or whatever, or maybe it's like, oh, how much is the sponsorship paying us? $100,000. All right, just send them, whoever, and then it's
so interesting because with like as we mentioned, wrestlers get passed around from brand to brand so much, where it's like after a little while, if something like that, you see that out in the wild and Cesaro is on it, but he's not in the he's in AEW, or it's like, if you see someone on like a game show or something, they do like a WWE episode of like Family Feud or something, and it's, I don't know, Bobby Lashley representing Monday Night Raw or something, and it's weird seeing that 3 years later when it's like, oh, they have zero affiliation with them anymore.
Yeah, well, it'll just be a thing where it's just like, oh, hey, Otis is going to be representing, whatever it is, craft singles or something like that. It's just, but I mean, It is what it is.
Yeah.
You got to get them out there doing something.
Yeah, yeah. Otherwise, they will literally just be hanging out, showing up for call time, just kicking back and watching the TV, because that's just something that a lot of the lower mid cards do. Maybe work a dark match here or there, maybe work WWE speed, but
I know we're supposed to be a variety podcast that's not completely wrestling related, even though we've talked 55 minutes about wrestling. I was going to switch gears real quick because, we've been sort of mildly following the Warped Tour thing. You saw Avril Lavigne.
Saw Avril Lavigne, and she's not playing in California.
Yeah. Fucked up.
That's all right. You know what? Like I said, I've just been watching, just patiently watching everything roll out and watching every comment section just go off and just making fun of @user Kaylee 420 from Northridge, California or something, being like, add some good people to Long Beach. And I'm like, there's 40. You just need to pop in Spotify, search their names, and they're there, and they all slap. So everyone that is shitting on a lot of the newer faces, just go listen to them. Yeah. Like, you will find your new favorite band. Your favorite band of 12 years was not your favorite band for 12 years at one point. You discovered them, as we get closer to the end of this rollout, we're going to get more of the legacy artists and stuff, and people are going to get more and more excited. But
plus, it's already sold out, right?
And it's already sold out. And, you have a lot of people crying online being like, I'm selling my tickets, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm actually making fun of those people hella hard that do end up selling their tickets before the lineup is done, and then their favorite artist is on it and they don't have tickets anymore.
Yeah, it sucks to suck.
Yeah, it sucks to suck.
If you don't want to go to that, I was on Groupon today, and I did see that you can get $31 tickets to the Papa Roach in Inglewood.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna try and go to that. That's a good lineup. It's Papa Roach and Rise Against as a co-headliner, and then Under Oath is the opener. Yeah. That's so good.
I remember Under Oath. Yeah. So on Groupon, it was like $30 a ticket or whatever.
There's a video of me when we were young crowd surfing last year to Under Oath. And as I got up in the air, simultaneously Spencer from Under Oath jumps in the crowd, and we have a moment of just both of us. I'm sure if you search YouTube or something, you'll find both of us just there together in Vegas, burning, turning pink in the sun. But
it's like that clip I saw of Pat McAfee and Michael Cole crowd surfing.
Yeah,
you were the Michael
out in the
Cole.
Rumble. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like $31, not bad. I got to see Papa Roach at some sort of industry show thing, I think at the Roxy or whatever, back in 2018 or whatever. That was sick, seeing them in like a club.
I've only seen them once, and it was opening for it was at Self Help 2018, opening for A Day to Remember. And obviously, I think Papa Roach has at least a dozen good songs, but hearing the Monday Night Raw song is
the song that is automatically not a song because
it's not a song, it's a wrestling song.
But Papa Roach, people will give Papa Roach shit or whatever, especially just people that don't understand octave, or the active rock scene or whatever. Papa Roach fucking brings it, especially Jacoby. Jacoby
seems like such a wholesome dude.
I mean, he's so good live all the time. His voice is great. I would argue that Jacoby's voice is one of the most mimicked. If Tom DeLonge is the prototypical pop punk voice, Jacoby Shattuck's, gritty voice is one of the most imitated in the Octane rock.
It's very gritty, but dude hits those notes some high ass notes as well. He's got range, and
the other thing,
a great songwriter.
Yeah, the other thing I love about Papa Roach too is that they really do have that 9 Lives thing going. I remember when I was in college, I went to Musicians Institute, and they had a whole thing where they wanted you to write where you see yourself in 5 years, but you weren't supposed to write something super outlandishly. They want to know that you're in this for a career before they accept you. So if you're just writing something like, oh, I'm going to be the biggest pop star in the world, blah, 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 it's probably not going to fly. So I wrote that I would like to have a career like Papa Roach, because at the time, this is 2012 or whatever, I'm dating myself, but they had just done an album with the Churcos, which was really good. But Papa Roach, just when you count them out, they come back in. Think about this. Papa Roach is one of the rare bands where they had a massive hit their first album with Last Resort, right? Their second album, I can't even think of a single song they play from it. It was just an odd, like nobody talks about that album.
I feel like Scars is on that album.
No. Scars was on their third. Yeah, it was.
Is the second album's with like there's like a baby on it or something, right? Am I thinking of that right?
There's a let's look it up. There is a.
To have your phone on the podcast.
This is well, only one of us can do this.
Yeah.
People are going to judge because I type with my index
Next
finger.
week, I can have my phone in my hand and ramble and yap and not shut the fuck up for you guys. I'm so excited.
Yeah, because I mean, you'll probably be way better at this. So, all right, Infest was their first. Okay, hold on.
Infest has the roach on it.
Yes, we know that. The one with the baby, though. Okay, because Infest is technically their second album. Sorry, their third album, Love, Hate, Tragedy. Yeah, the baby. Yeah.
Yeah, baby with the
it's like what apparently the singles off of here were She Loves Me Not and Time Again.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know.
But then, so you get counted, and if you fuck up your second album, it's almost a death sentence because like labels at that point are like, all right, you're just a flash in the pan or whatever. So you never hear anything from that album. But then they come back with Getting Away with Murder in 2005, and then you got stuff like Getting Away with Murder, Scars. There's so many tracks on there, and then Metamorphosis. I think that's the one that has the Raw theme on it. No. No, sorry. The Paramore sessions.
Yeah.
Shout
out Paramore.
They kind of go on a little bit of a decline, but then remember when Fear came out,
Face Everything and Rise.
Yeah. Sorry, no. The album after that was Crooked Teeth.
Crooked Teeth.
The one with Help.
I think it's Crooked Teeth. Yeah.
Yeah, that song was everywhere at the time.
Yeah.
So
all those Octane heads definitely hold like. They found a place there, just like, I mean, Sum 41 kind of did the same thing during that period when they started kind of going back up and, they got back in the Warped Tour space, the Hopeless Records stuff and all that, which they weren't in for a long time because, they were mainstream and
they just have their finger on the on their pulse. Like they worked, with TikTok artists. I think they did some with Jarrett Johnson.
Jarrett Johnson, Skate. All those guys.
So they're always maybe that's a new segment on this podcast. We just take a band and we just glaze them up for 10 minutes.
Yeah. Let us know who we should glaze next week.
Yeah.
Let us know. Also, next week, hopefully, if you are watching this, not listening, but actually looking at our faces and the video and stuff, we are almost for sure going to upgrade next week. Like it may be a different space completely. So
this is who is the wrestler that they teased forever, and then Veer is coming. Veneer, whatever his name was.
I was thinking of the Shockmaster.
Yeah. No, where Raw just kept having vignettes for him, but then he never showed up. I think it was Veer or something like that.
Potentially, yeah.
Whatever. But yeah, every single week we're going to promise production
we're going to promise, and then it's going to be the end of the year.
The thing is, we do have the equipment. We have the lights. We have all that stuff. It's just getting it set up and all that.
It's just actually getting off our asses and not doom scrolling.
Yeah.
Which...
if this fucking bronchitis will get the fuck out of my body.
Yeah. I need to stop doom scrolling. You need to stop having bronchitis. I need to stop playing video games. And then we'll get our shit together. And hopefully that's by next week.
Yes.
So in the meantime, go listen to Bonesteel. Go listen to Sad Boy Cult.
Yeah. Check it out.
Check it out.